too far away. We'll hop onto the main account so we can control the stream. I think that's it there. Give Sparty the thumbs up. I'm all set and ready to go, so are all the drivers. I'll double check the stream to make sure it's working. Alright, audio is working, stream's up, chat's up, we're all good to go. That's absolutely fantastic. We'll just be waiting a few moments till we hit 12 o'clock. We just hit it now. We'll get the ready up signal very, very shortly. Once everyone ready's up and the screen cuts to black, we'll start the intro. And not at all surprising as well, attendance looking fantastic. It always does in the America series. Say it every stream, I'm always impressed with this lot. Attendance has been really incredibly strong. So has been the racing quality, so hopefully we get an interesting stream for this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We're getting close to the beginning of qualifying. There's the timer there. Ready up signal has been given. Alrighty. Let's get this show on the road. Hello everyone and welcome to round 8 of the America's Tier 1 Championship here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Everingham, your commentator for this event, and tonight we'll be racing at the Jeddah Corniche Circuit for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Constructed in 2021 alongside the iconic Red Sea, Jeddah has very quickly gained the reputation of being one of the most demanding, dramatic and controversial racetracks in the world. Designed by Carsten Tilke, son of track-making supremo Hermann Tilke, the street circuit measures up at 3.84 miles, consists of 27 corners and 3 DRS zones that lead into the prime overtaking spots of Turn 1, Turn 22 and Turn 27. Outside of those areas, the drivers will have to deal with one of the toughest S sections on the Formula 1 calendar. The section formed by turns 3 through 10 is incredibly fast and forces the driver to push their car right to the edge of grip. The circuit rewards those with complete commitment, accuracy and focus, but get it even slightly wrong and the track will punish you, as around every corner those solid concrete walls are looming not too far away. To add to the drama and the spectacle of this whole event, this is the second sprint round of the championship. 2 races for the price of 1 and a ton of points to be scored, giving the drivers more incentive to push hard and score big. Now, before we focus on qualifying, there is a bit of news to go through first from last week's race in Montreal. There were no incident reports sent in by the drivers, and that means from last week's race, the final finishing positions remain completely unchanged. In the Drivers' Championship, Mighty Wombat is leading the way on 146 points, followed by Saucy on 138, only 8 points separating the top 2 in the Drivers' Championship. Blockman here is P3 in the Drivers' Championship. He's on 119 points. 7 points in front of RF1 Tom in the McLaren, who's on 112. Rounding out the top 5 is KD 1997 on 95 points. VSR Jack, who was absent for today's race, is 6th on 93 points, followed by Rebellion on 80, Youngling on 73, Sub for Lime on 59, and rounding out the top 10 is Mr. Nars on 53 points. In the Constructors, Mercedes AMG are leading the way on 241 points, followed by Alpine on 199, 42 points separating the top 2 in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes have a healthy lead, but we're only at the midway stage of the championship. We've still got a long way to go. Williams are third on 172, 1 point in front of McLaren on 171. Rounding out the top 5 is Aston Martin on 138. Completing the table, we have Red Bull Racing on 105, followed by Ferrari on 72, Haas on 61, AlphaTauri on 28, and Alfa Romeo on 23 points. We're right on board now with Blockman. We're going to give you a guided tour of this 3.8 mile, 27 turn racetrack. Into turn 1, second gear, round turn 2, keeping it in second on the exit, short shifting up to third, 4, 5th gear through turn 3, and up towards the beginning of the S's. Turns 4, into 5, around the left-hander now of turn 6, up towards turn 7, into turn 8, and towards turn 9, down to 5th gear, short shifting back up to 6th, through turn 10, and then through the little kinks of 11 and 12. Up towards the long left-hand sweeper of turn 13, down to 4th gear, back on the accelerator. Very tidy on the exit, getting close to the wall as he heads around turn 14. Up towards the left-hander of turn 15, into 16 and 17. Very tricky, very sharp chicane, utilising the full width of the racetrack and then some as he goes through turn 18. Through turn 19, DRS open, through turn 20, up towards turn 21, then the fast chicane of turns 22 and 23, sending it through in 6th gear, clobbering over the curbs nicely as he goes through turn 24. DRS open around turn 25, he'll head around the iconic Red Sea, through turn 26, and up towards the final corner, turn 27. Down through the gears, down to 3rd gear, back on the accelerator, getting a nice enough exit as he heads down the main straightaway with DRS open, up towards the line, and this is the benchmark for everyone to beat, 1 minute 28.391. Sub for Lime has crashed out of qualifying. He's had an incident through this S section. We're going to go back to Blockman just briefly. He's undone himself at turn 5. We'll go through turn 4 here, and there he is. So he's lost control through turn 4, lost the back end, and then hit the left-hand side barrier at the entry to turn 5. So Sub for Lime out of qualifying. You'll more than likely be starting at the very back of the grid for the sprint race. Saucy, who's P2 in the Drivers' Championship, making his way through the S's now up towards turns 22 and 23. Tidy through there. Low on fuel though, so you'll either try and complete this flying lap or just bail, go back into the pits and put on another set of tyres. A couple of other drivers setting lap times. 2 Red Bulls have set times. Some random has joined and left the session. Mighty Wombat has just jumped up to P2. Saucy's going to complete this lap. It's going to be a 1 minute 28.868. He goes second quickest with that lap time. Blockman well and truly at the front of the field right now, leading Saucy by a little over 0.4 of a second. RF1 Tom making his way through the final sector around turn 26 up towards turn 27. He'll get on the brakes from 206 miles an hour, bring it all the way down to 70 at the apex of the final corner. He'll open DRS and head towards the finish line. What will the clock say for the McLaren driver? It says a 28.844. 2 drivers in the 28.8s. He jumps up to P2, overtaking Saucy at the end of that flying lap. Professor Phil making his way around the long left-hand sweeper of turn 13. Such a tricky corner to get it absolutely spot on. It's incentivized that you get as close to the wall as possible on the exit so you can carry as much speed around the corner. Or the trouble is, when you get that close to the wall, if you make a mistake, rubbing up against it isn't exactly a good thing. There's a really high chance that you'll damage the race car. Take it easy, jumps up to P7, so not a bad lap time. He's 0.3 off Mr. Nars in P6. Professor Phil, take it easy's teammate, making his way up towards the final corner. Entry speed 205 miles an hour. Apex speed of 72 miles an hour there at the final corner. Phil will open DRS and head up towards the line. It's going to be a 1 minute 30.912, 11th quickest so far. Youngling out on track, so is Flavius. Everyone else on in-lap side do believe, so we'll keep our eyes on Youngling. Slow moving Alpine out on track. I do believe that's Rebel trying to make his way back into the pits. He must have run out of fuel. Similar story with RF1 Tom. That's why you see yellow flags in the third sector. He's moving slowly because he's out of fuel. Alright, youngling, let's see what you can do. He's saving up a little bit of battery. He must have used a little bit of it through the first sector. He's trying to recover that back. So he heads up towards the final corner to try and begin a flying lap. Yeah, Blockman's got a real healthy lead at the top of the table. Having 4/10 in hand is huge right at the beginning of qualifying. It'll be interesting to see what he can do at the end of qualifying. Youngling heads down the main straightaway up towards turn 1. Entry speed 206 miles an hour. Down into the tight left-hander. Through the tight right-hander of turn 2. Then through turn 3, up towards the beginning of the S's at turn 4. Brings it down to 4th gear, back on the accelerator through turn 5. Shifted up to 6th gear through turn 6, into turn 7, then turn 8, around the other right of turn 9, then into the very tricky, notorious left-hander of turn 10, and Youngling has invalidated. I believe he cut too much at turn 10 and it's cost him dearly. Flavius, meanwhile, making his way out of the S's, heading up towards turn 13. Bring it down to 4th gear, back on the accelerator, nice and gently. Short shifting up to 5th, up to 6th gear on the exit. Around turn 14, up towards turns 15, 16 and 17. This tight chicane, chucking it through. Could afford to use a bit more track on the inside of the left-hander, but Flavius keeping it well and truly within the white lines, making sure he doesn't invalidate. Up towards turns 22 and 23. Tidy run through there underneath the hotel. Now it's just foot to the floor stuff up towards the final corner. What kind of top speed will we see here from the AlphaTauri? We're seeing numbers like 205, 206. Going to see 206 briefly for Flavius's AlphaTauri, so he's got a pretty quick car in a straight line. DRS open, heading up towards the line. It's going to be a 1 minute 31.530, currently the slowest time on the board. Blockman getting ready for a second run. I wonder where he can find time on his current personal best. Saucy about to do the same as he heads around the final corner. Got just under 9 minutes left in qualifying. So he's still got a long way to go. Out of turn 2, heading around turn 3 and up towards the S's at turns 4 and 5. Down to 4th gear through 4, up to 5th gear through 5, up to 6th gear through 6, then 7, 8. Oh, and there's an Alfa Romeo spinning out just in front there. See who that was in just a moment. Blockman to the first sector is up by 2.5 tenths. Blockman has found a considerable amount of time to the first sector. Up towards turn 15. Then the chicane of 16 and 17. Chucking it through. Very tidy stuff from Blockman there. We're getting a lot of randoms just randomly joining. Hopefully that bloke can leave as soon as possible. Blockman to the middle sector. Up by just under 0.3 of a second. So he's looking at a high 28 here as he makes his way around the final part of the racetrack. Up towards the final corner now. He'll get on the brakes at the 100-meter board. Braking hard all the way down to 70 miles an hour at the apex of turn 27. And it's just a flat-out dash up towards the line for Blockman. It's a 1 minute 28.103. Reaffirms himself at the top of the table. Tom up by 0.2 to the first sector. Saucy, he's going to complete a lap here. Oh, but does not improve. Not a great final sector, it seems, from Saucy. He stays P3. KD, meanwhile, he's bailed on this lap. Mighty Wombat, he's getting out of the way as well. So we'll keep our eyes on Tom here as he makes his way through the final part of the middle sector. Up towards the sector split. Clock says he's up by just under 0.2 of a second underneath the hotel. Through the final part of the racetrack now with DRS open. Up towards turn 26 here, hugging the inside line all the way round, then opens up the exit to open up the final corner of turn 27. There's just a flat-out dash towards the line. DRS open again, up towards the stripe. He improves by just under 0.3 of a second to set a 28.561. KD, he'll be going back into the pits. I think Mighty Wombat is on a flying lap attempt here. He's low on fuel, you can tell on the telemetry. Through turn 10, through 11 and 12, up towards the first sector split for Wombat. He's up by just over 1/10 of a second. Through turn 13, the long left sweeper. Up through the gears, through turn 14 now, the long right-hander. Then turn 15 through the chicane of 16 and 17. Tidy run, very tidy, getting close to the wall on the exit as well. Exiting turn 18 through 19. Into turn 20, the Haas getting a bit in the way as Bopton has joined as well. Man, what's with random people just joining? I think people should really get the memo to not just randomly join, but no, whatever. A few people do it. Very ridiculous. Up towards the final corner for Mighty Wombat, hard on the brakes there, down to third. Getting back on the accelerator on the exit, nice and tidy. Could have used a bit more of the width there available to him. Oh, and he's actually bailed on the lap with just under 5 minutes left in qualifying. Professor Phil getting ready to set a flying lap. He's making his way down the main straightaway towards turn 1. Youngling's about to complete a flying lap. No, he's not. He's bailing on this lap. And it's going to be a bit touch and go for the Williams driver towards the end of quali. He does not have a time set yet, and he's currently P16. Sparty making his way through the middle sector around turn 13. Tidy on the exit, getting close to the wall as well. Good stuff as he heads around turn 14, up towards turn 15, 16 and 17. Tidy run, keeping it well within the white lines, making sure he doesn't invalidate. Now through the final part of the middle sector, absolutely flat out through this section. Get on the brakes for turn 22, down to 6th gear, 4th gear in fact, all the way down to 4th gear. Typically you see drivers go through there in 6th. DRS open as he heads around the final part of the lap. His teammate is currently slowest with a 31.5. Where will Sparty slot himself? Wait and see. Exiting the final corner, almost Verstappening it. Got very, very close. He might have bumped the wall, I'm not sure. Sparty goes 12th fastest with a 30.990, just behind Professor Phil. Rebel getting ready, Take It Easy getting ready, Sergeant Bill getting ready, same with Mr. Nars. They're all getting ready for their, what could be their final flying lap attempts. Top 5 still in pit lane, they're waiting for the clock to run down as much as possible so they can get the most optimal conditions for the end of qualifying. Sergeant Bill getting ready for a run. Professor Phil has just completed a run looking at his battery. 29.778, currently P8 on the board, so inside the top 10. Rebel getting ready for a run here. He's making his way around the final part of the racetrack. The harm assist. Is he on a flying lap? It looks like he's on a flying lap. He's low on fuel, but he is using battery. He's pushing here. And with the time left in qualifying, well, there won't be enough of it for him to try and set another flying lap. So this is it for the harm assist as he exits the final corner, heads down the main straightaway. He'll open DRS and head up towards the line. It's a 1 minute 29.678. He improves by half a second and jumps just behind his teammate who has invalidated this flying lap. Mr. Nars will now begin a flying lap. Currently P6 with a 29.5. In order for him to improve position, he has to find a half second. It's going to be a tall order. Or some drivers making their way out. They'll be RF1 Tom. The Aston Martin would have to be saucy. So yeah, a bit of traffic at the beginning of Mr. Nars' lap that may have cost him in the first sector. Rebel, meanwhile, is up by a whopping 0.4 of a second to the first sector. He's now making his way towards turns 16 and 17. Down to 5th gear, short shifting up to 6. A tidy run out to turn 17 through 18 up towards turn 19. He'll open DRS and head up towards turn 22. The most critical corner in this part of the lap. He's up by 1.3 seconds. Very tidy run indeed from Rebel. There's a car getting ready for a run just in front. One of the Mercedes-Benzes. as Rebel makes his way up towards the final corner. Hard on the brakes, down to 4th gear, down to 3rd. Does he short shift? No, he does not. Uses all of 3rd on the exit of the final corner. DRS open, up towards the line for Rebel. 1 minute 28.869. It's P4. What a recovery. He's missed out on P3 by 1/1000th of a second. Tom getting ready for his final flying lap attempt. Blockman beginning his final flying lap attempt through turn 1 into turn 2, up towards the left-hand kink of turn 3. Now heading into the most critical part of the entire lap, the S's through turn 4, then turn 5, getting close to the barrier on the inside there. Gee whiz, that was close, as Younglings jumped up to P5 with a 28.899. Just missed out on P4 by 300ths of a second. Blockman to the first sector is up by 68 thousandths as Tom's bailed. That's it. It's the end of qualifying for the McLaren driver. Saucy, meanwhile, making his way through the opening sector up towards the first sector split. KD's jumped up to P2 with a 28.4. Saucy to the first sector is up by just over 1/10. Mighty Wombat, he's making his way through the final part of the lap. He's down to the middle sector, needs to improve massively here in the final part of the lap. Saucy going through the middle of the lap, chucking it through 16 and 17, getting a tidy run, getting very close to the barrier. Blockman, meanwhile, heading through the final part of the lap, could be looking at a high 27 here. Hard on the brakes, down to 3rd. Sergeant Bill retires in the pit lane. Rocket Alamar's car coming to a stop at turn 24, up towards the line for Blockman. It's a 1 minute 28.052, reaffirming himself at the top of the board. Can Saucy do anything in response? He would need to improve by a little over 0.8 of a second. I don't think he's going to find that time in the final part of the lap. Can he improve position? The answer is no. He stays P4. He does improve, but he stays P4. Youngling, he's done. Take it easy. Making his way through the final part of the lap. He's not done just yet. Around the final corner, 3rd gear, or getting very close to the wall at the exit of the corner, up towards the line for the Ferrari driver. Jumps up a position, jumps up to P12 with a 29.7. So there we are at the end of qualifying. Blockman has well and truly earned his spot at the top of the board, a 28.052, beating KD's time of a 28.492. Just over 0.4 of a second separating the top 2 cars. It's quite a big gap. Alright. Just waiting, there we are. So, at the end of qualifying, Blockman puts it on pole position. KD will start alongside on the front row. RF1 Tom will start P3, Saucy P4, Rebel P5, followed by Youngling. Mighty Wombat, our championship leader, down in 7th. Mr. Nars P8, Sergeant Bill 9th. The Harmesis rounds out the top 10. Professor Phil P11, followed by Take It Easy in 12th, John in 13th, Sparty 14th, Rocket LMR 15th, Flavius 16th, and Subfaline, with his accident towards the beginning of qualifying, will start last in 17th position. Alright, sprint race time here in Jeddah. Be interesting to see who does what in terms of strategy, because although there's no need to make any pit stops in this race, around this circuit you can get away starting with the soft compound tyre. Typically in a sprint race everyone starts on the mediums, but in this particular race here at Jeddah you can get away with starting on the soft compound tyre. So it'll be interesting to see who does what in terms of strategy. Now I remember from Pacific Tier 1, a driver by the name of Darren 11 started on the soft tyre. It worked pretty well in the sprint because everyone else started on the mediums. So it'll be interesting to see what these drivers do. Will they all start on the mediums, or will they try and do something different? Timer ticking down to the formation lap. That was pretty quick. I wonder if somebody pressed X prematurely. Typically Sparty likes people to wait just a bit. See what happens here. Alright, I see a lot of mediums. I see a set of softs though on Tom's McLaren. Ah, there are a few soft runners in this. Interesting. This will prove to be very interesting. So, we'll run through the order again. Blockman starting from pole position in the Alpine will be starting on the medium compound tyre. KD 1997 in P2. He's doing the same. RF1 Tom starting on the soft compound tyre. I like this strategy. It could prove to be very, very effective. Saucy in P4, Rebel in P5, Youngling in P6, Mighty Wombat in 7th, Mr. Nars in 8th, and Sergeant Phil in 9th are all starting on the medium compound tyre. The Harnesses starting from P10 is starting on the soft tyre. Professor Phil in P11 is starting on the mediums. Take It Easy, Phil's teammate, is starting on the soft tyre. John C in P13 is starting on the mediums. Sparty in P14 is starting on the softs. Rocket Alamar and Flavius are both starting on the medium tyre. And Subfalime, starting at the back, is on the soft compound tyre. So we've got 5 cars on the softs. That means 12 drivers on the mediums. So a bit of a mix-up here. And generally speaking, those who are on the softer compound tend to be really aggressive at the start. So it's not too much of a surprise that some of those towards the back and towards the midfield are trying to start on the soft tyres to try and gain positions early. They just have to be wary of tyre wear towards the end of the race. Tom, meanwhile, he's trying to go for the win here. He's going to try and pit Blockman and KD early in the race and try and pull away while his tyres are still fresh. Just has to worry about when they're not fresh and the grip fades away. But if he builds up a big enough gap early on, that shouldn't be much of a problem. We'll get rid of the tyre graphic just for now. We'll bring it back later as we get ready for the start of this Grand Prix. Now, Blockman will be lining up on the cleaner side of the racetrack. Theoretically, he should get a better start, but KD, he's got the whole shot down towards turn 1 if he gets a better start. We're right on board with KD as well for the start, because this is the only camera angle we'll get for the beginning of the race. It's a horrible camera angle. It does not show me enough information. So we're right on board with KD once everyone lines up, and everyone has. Alrighty, the drivers have 9 laps in front of them. We've got 10 red lights. And the sprint race is underway. It's a nice start from Blockman from pole. An even better one from KD. He's got the whole shot down towards turn 1. Sends it in. There's contact as they go 3 wide. Tom goes round the outside of KD and moves into second position. Youngling moving up. Yellows are out. Professor Phil spins and tumbles down to last. Drivers trying to get through turns 4 and 5 unscathed. Bit wide there from Mr. Nars. The 2 alphas following each other. Flavius has spun at the exit of turn 4. He goes down to last. Subfaline battling Sparty, it seems. He moves into 14th place. A solid start, a bit of drama, but everyone's still running. That's the main thing. Saucy on the back of KD, applying pressure, trying to find a way by the Mercedes. As we head through turn 14, up towards 15 and the chicane of 16 and 17. Chucking it through, running over the curbs as we head through the second half of the lap. Now Saucy... Oh, that's Tom! Tom's got damage, he's bonked the wall! I saw that piece of debris fly off his car. Tom's just made an elementary mistake, bonking the wall through a flat-out section. He's now got a damaged front wing. He'll have to pit. KD will now move through into second here. Unless Tom outbrakes him. He's trying to fight here, Tom. Or forcing KD wide. And an opportunity for Saucy, Youngling and Mighty Wombat arises. Down the main straightaway. 2 wide for P2 as we head towards turn 1. Looking to the inside is Youngling in the Williams. Saucy diving, contact at 1. Cutting the corner at turn 2. KD gets a 5-second time penalty. And I don't think he'll be able to get that removed either. Oh, he's going to redress it. No, he doesn't. He defends the position at turn 4. Interesting. Through the S's we go. KD, another 5-second time penalty for corner cutting and gaining a place. Well, that's probably warranted considering what happened there. Up towards turn 13. Wombat on the back of Youngling, almost going into the back of him there. We head out to the long sweeper and through the second half of the lap. Rest of the field are pretty well spread out. No one battling anyone, so we'll keep our eyes on this. As we head through this flat out part of the lap. Rebel on the back of Wombat. Can he find a way by? Not through this section, I would think. Through turn 22 into 23. And around this flat out section around the Red Sea. Rebel's quick. And he's dumping battery too. Subline gets by Rocket Alamar. That's for P12. Heading around the final corner and onto the main straightaway. Tidy run from Mighty Wombat there at the final corner. Blockman leading the way, a comfortable margin as well, 3.3 seconds. Rebel close. Deep on the brakes, too deep for Wombat. Rebel, too deep as well. He followed Wombat into the braking zone. They both outbroke themselves at turn 1. The harm assist, take it easy. And Sergeant Bill, all of these guys battling for position. Oh, no way. Down the inside. That was never going to work there. And take it easy. Wisely backs out of it. Still has pace on those soft tyres, though. He's giving it some as Tom is back in pit lane. Interesting. Going from bad to worse for the McLaren driver. Back towards this battle at the front of the train. KD in second place. Those 10 seconds worth of time penalties are seriously going to hurt him in this sprint. Best camera angle in the Formula 1 game. Looking down at the racetrack. Get to see the, just quite frankly, awesome geography and the topography of the racetrack. Look at this. Heading around the Red Sea. Such an awesome part of the lap. Easily the best camera angle in the entire game. As these fellas head around the final corner. Subline carving his way up. He's now into P11. He's just outside of the points. Should mention as well, here on Race Spec Esports, in sprint races, the top 10 score points. And here comes Saucy down the inside at 1. Oh, didn't fully commit to the move. Youngling now closes in. This battle is going to intensify some more, I would think, as the laps tick down. We get closer to the checkered flag. Subline and John battling for position. John has to give in. Subline moves up to P11. He's got 1.2 seconds to close in on Take It Easy in 10th. Rebel on the back of this train battling for second place. Not much you can do from this position when a DRS train starts to form. So difficult to move your way up through it. Turn 15 through 16, understeer, costing him precious tenths that he can't afford to lose. Through this mid part of the lap, absolutely flat out here. DRS open as we head up towards turn 22. Nice and easy through the left-hander, easy through the right-hander. So incredibly easy to get it wrong through there. So Rebel just backing off, making sure he can get through the section. Harm assist has spun into the wall at turn 24. You'll get going again eventually, but he tumbles outside of the points. I think he's got front wing damage as well. Yeah, he's missing an end plate on the right-hand side, so he's down to 15th as Youngling passes KD here. Round the outside of turn 1, contact, forcing Youngling wide to cut the track as Wombat and KD are now side by side. Contacted into the wall goes Youngling. He and Rebel came together through turn 3 and we have a safety car. Oh my goodness. Youngling absolutely shafted there through turns 1, 2 and 3 initially by KD, and then Rebel finished him off. Oh my goodness me. Alright. Safety car in a sprint. First time I've seen one of these in a sprint. First time in a long time anyway. But some drivers pitting in, taking the opportunity to pit. They've got a lot of catching up to do. The safety car is not going to stay out long. Yeah, that's right, as rule. When you see 4 cars fighting into one corner, it usually doesn't end well at all. And you could see there, it didn't end well, at least for Youngling. So a huge blow for Youngling and for Williams as well, as VSR Jack is not here to participate in the race. Youngling's their only representative driver, and he's going to score nothing in this race. And to add on top of that, he's going to be starting from the very back of the grid for the main race here at Jeddah. So a huge blow. Blockman catching up to the safety car. What about these fellas? None of these guys will pit, surely. Yeah, no. The only reason why you would pit here is if you've got damage, like really bad damage. Yeah, so none of these guys will pit in. They'll just finish on the tyres that they started on. For those 10 seconds worth of penalties for KD, that is really, really going to hurt him in the final results. It's going to hurt him for the start of the main race. 10 seconds, he might even drop outside of the points. That's a truly tremendous blow. Blockman, all that hard work at the beginning of the race means nothing now. He's got track position, but he's now got hungry and probably slightly angry and frustrated drivers right behind him. Blockman will have a fair amount of work to do, but as we saw from qualifying, he's got tremendous pace in that Alpine. He is very quick. So maybe Blockman will be able to hang on. Now, safety car lights might go out here at the end of this sector. We'll wait and see. Might have a look at some of the other details as well. See with the position change here. Biggest winner so far is Subfoline. It's been a massive effort. He crashed out in qualifying, started from last in 17th, and he's made his way back up into the top 10. That's a huge effort. He'll easily get driver of the day. Well, we might be doing one more lap. This is something that Blockman needs. He needs as much time behind the safety car as possible, so it gives less time to those behind to try and catch up. Saucy up 2 places. Mighty Wombat's done well, he's up 3. Nas up 2. Sergeant Bill up 2. Take It Easy up 4, he's done well. We've mentioned Subfoline. John up 3 places. Rocket Alamar up 4. And if he's within 10 seconds of KD, who's all the way up in 3rd, he might be able to score a point. Easily biggest losers, RF1 Tom. The likelihood of him finishing in the points is low, but not impossible. He needs to catch up to the tail of the train though, which I do believe he will be able to do. But I'd say the person who's suffered the worst out of all of this is Youngling. Yes, Tom has lost more positions, but Youngling is straight up out of the race. That's yeah, quite the blow for him. Considering he was, yeah, up in the points, up in the top 5, battling well, and then that happens, so. Yep. It really does suck for him. We'll get rid of the position change now. See the tyres, top 7 on mediums, P8 and P9 on worn soft tyres. They should still be okay though. John, LMR, Professor Phil, they're all on mediums. Insane Smarties on 6-lap-old softs, but those behind, the Harnesses, Flavius and Tom, they've got slightly fresher soft tyres. They might be quite quick on those tyres. We'll keep it on the penalty graphic. That will probably be the most important graphic. If any driver gets a 3-second time penalty, it's really going to hurt. When the field is as bunched up as this, time penalties really, really hurt. KD's going to get, well, shafted, really, with those 10 seconds worth of time penalties. He will more than likely finish outside of the points. Alright, everyone's caught up. Safety car should duck in this lap. Just be waiting for the lights to go out. There they are. Now Blockman will control the field. He'll back everyone up just to make sure the safety car can go back into the pits nice and safely. Back everyone up. Make sure his tyres are nice and warm. Saucy, get on his gearbox, mate. You need to be a bit closer. Can't let Blockman get away from you. You have a shot. You have a slight chance to try and win this race. You need to be on his gearbox. That's a bit better. Be as close to him as possible and react as quick as possible. Blockman taking it very, very easy around the final corner. We head on to the main straight. I would have gone by now, Blockman. Saucy getting ready. And here we go. Not a great reaction from Saucy. It's cost him time. Time that he can't afford to lose. For the sake of the race, we've got 2 laps to go in this sprint. Blockman has driven away already by half a second. KD, Wombat, Rebel, Naz, Sergeant Bill. Behind him is Take It Easy. Spinning! Oh, what a moment there from Bill. Great catch, though. Take It Easy moves through. Oh, Sunfalime in the wall, trying to go around the outside. That doesn't work, though. Cutting turn 5 there. He keeps P9. John can't capitalise. Oh, the Harbour Sister's out. He spins. He crashes at turn 6. Our second retirement of the race. He'll be starting at the back with Youngling in P16. KD in front of his teammate Wombat. He's not letting his teammate through. He's going to lead this train through 16, through 17. Rebel, Mr. Nars, Take It Easy. Sergeant Bill just behind, who made that great save. Here comes Tom overtaking Rocket LMR. That could be for a point, considering the penalty situation KD has. Oh, but look at Phil to the inside at 22. Oh my word, forcing LMR wide. A great rejoin there from LMR, keeping it out of the barrier. Phil's got speed, but so does Sparty. It's now a 3-car fight for 12th. Sparty trying to create a hole down the inside. LMR blocks it as we head around the final corner. Oh, but he runs wide. Phil moves through into P12. And into the wall goes Sparty. He's out of the race. We're down to 14 cars. Blockman leading the way by 1.4 seconds. He's got this race in the bag, so long as he doesn't make a mistake. Saucy in P2. KD in P3. Followed by Mighty Wombat. They're pulling away from Rebel, it seems. Gaps increased to 0.8 of a second. There's Mr. Nars. Take It Easy, Sergeant Bill, Subfalime, John, and RF1 Tom. Just in front of him is 10th place. That's a guaranteed points finish in this sprint. He'd be looking for a way by. Can't do it, though, at turn 13. Not quite quick enough, but he's got the grip through the corner. Right on the back of the heart, heading out of turn 13. Closing in through 16 and 17. Can he... Oh, he puts it into the wall briefly. He bumped the barrier on the outside of turn 17. He's looking for a move here. This could get dicey. John covers the inside line through 22. Forcing Tom wide. He rejoins, almost putting John into the wall. Oh, he does go into the wall at turn 24. That might be looked at. That might be considered an illegal overtake. Meanwhile, out in front, a commanding sprint race here for Blockman. He wins the sprint in Saudi, takes fastest lap. It's beaten by Saucy. KD crosses the line in third. He will not stay there, though. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. 13th place. He finishes in 13th. He lost 10 positions thanks to the time penalties. Subfalime given driver of the day for his performance in the sprint. Can't blame the game for choosing him. Makes a lot of sense. There we are, the end of the sprint here in Saudi. Blockman commanding victory at the end of the day. Saucy home in P2, Mighty Wombat P3, followed by Rebel, another big points haul for Alpine. Mr. Nars P5, then Take It Easy, Sergeant Bell, Subline from 17th, finishes 8th, great effort. Nice recovery as well from Tom, both McLarens in the points. John finishes in P10, Professor Phil P11, Rocket Alamar in 12th, KD down in 13th for the start of the main race, followed by Flavius. Insane Sparty, the Harmesis and Youngling crashing out in the sprint will start P15, 16 and 17. Main race time. We saw drama in the sprint. How much are we going to see in the main race? Slightly overcast conditions here at Jeddah. You can see the clouds about out in the sky. Don't think we're going to see any wet weather though. Otherwise I probably would have been informed about it. I know it's possible though. It's definitely more than possible to get wet weather here in Jeddah. It's the same story with Abu Dhabi at Yas Marina. I've seen it. Had a race where half of it was intermediate conditions. The only Middle Eastern circuit I haven't seen rain at is Bahrain. Alright. How is this all going to unfold? We're giving the drivers as much time as possible as well to try and tune their strategies to how they want it. Try and make sure they have the right amount of fuel in the car. Maybe tune a little bit of the setup as well. Maybe take off some front wing. If they're looking for more straight line speed, maybe adding a little bit of front wing to try and get some more turn in. They might be adjusting tyre pressures as well. Might be lowering them. Considering this is the main race and you're going longer on the tyres. If you have higher tyre pressures, it's a lot more difficult to control tyre temperatures. So they might reduce their tyre pressures a little bit. So, plenty of things to try and work out, as we'll soon get ready for the formation lap start. Sparty will control when the timer pops up, so once he's given a decent amount of time for all the drivers to tune their setups, tune their strategies, that timer will pop up, the 30-second timer. And we'll get ready for the start of the formation lap. An interesting note, there's a timer. An interesting note with this circuit as well, as we saw in the sprint, there's a lot of options for you in terms of what tyre to start on and what kind of strategies to try and pull off. You can start on the softs here. It can work. You can do a soft medium here if you want. Traditionally speaking, medium hard, hard medium is the way to go, but the soft tyre is a very, very usable race tyre. It'll be interesting to see who does what. I see a fair few mediums out there, I do believe. Let's have a look at who's starting on what tyre as the drivers set off on their formation lap. Well, it's actually less of a convincing story from what I've seen in Pacific Elite and Pacific Tier 1. It's heavily on the side of starting on the medium tyre. Interesting. So we'll run through the order. Blockman, again starting from pole position, is on the mediums. Saucy in P2 doing the same, as well as Mighty Wombat in P3, Rebel in P4, Mr. Nars in P5, Take It Easy in P6, Sergeant Bill in 7th, and Subfeline in P8. They're all starting on the mediums, so the top 8 on the medium tyre. RF1 Tom in P9 and John C in P10. They're both starting on the hard compound tyre. Professor Phil in P11, like his teammate, is starting on the medium compound tyre. Rocket LMR in P12 is starting on the hard tyre. KD in P13, Flavius in P14, and his teammate Insane Sparty in P15. They're starting on the medium compound tyre. The Harmacist is the only driver in the field starting on the soft tyre in P16. And Youngling, starting from the back in 17th position, is starting on the hard tyre. So we have 4 on the hards, 1 on the softs. So that means we have 12 drivers on the medium compound tyre. Interesting. Get rid of that tyre graphic for just a bit. The leaders are making their way through the final part of the lap. They'll soon line up into their respective grid slots. Take it easy, Mr. Nars have collided on the formation lap, it seems. They've both been disqualified. Hopefully they don't have stone cold tyres for the start of this race. A lot of us know how difficult it is to control a car that has stone cold tyres. They're both on mediums, so they shouldn't be a problem getting them up to temperature if they are stone cold, but still something you don't want to have. Now, Blockman got a pretty decent start in the sprint. I'm sure Saucy will know that. So the Aston Martin driver will be on top of their game to try and match the Alpine off the line and perhaps try and challenge into turn 1. Oh, Saucy lining up. He's got it spot on, so is Blockman. Alright, all 17 cars are once again lined up and ready to go. This time around we got 25 laps in front of us, 10 red lights, and the main race is underway. Another great start from Blockman. Saucy, not too bad as well. Oh, look at Wombat and Rebel battling towards turn 1. Around the outside goes Wombat. That turns to the inside at turn 2. Can he get in front at 3? He's trying. Bit of a moment there from Saucy. A moment in the background as well, as Sergeant Bill spins down to last place at turn 2. But Saucy maintains second. Wombat maintains third. Rebel in fourth. Mr. Nars in fifth, followed by Take It Easy. So they have not lost positions. Tom, I believe, is up to 8th. Subfalime down to 10th, so Tom up 2, I believe, or at least Tom up 1, Subfalime down 2, if I remember. Yes, Tom up 1, Subfalime down 2. Or Subfalime trying to get back at Rocket LMR at turn 13, can't quite find a way by though. He's actually had a terrific start, up 3 positions, same with John in 7th, and the Harmesis on the soft tyre in 13th. Or Subfalime trying to find a way by as they head through this flat out section. This is going to get tight as we head through turn 20. Subfalime gets through, yellow flags are out. Here comes KD on the attack too. Down the inside, oh, he overshoots the corner. Rocket LMR has to back it up as Professor Phil gets balked a little bit. The Harmesis is trying to find a way through. Almost 3 wide as we head around turn 25, around turn 26, up towards the final corner of 27. Harmesis looking around the outside of Rocket LMR. Can he find a way by? They almost made contact. Harmesis gets better traction. He gets in front into P12. Blockman has maintained the lead. Here comes RF1 Tom down the inside at turn 1. Can't fully commit to the move. Professor Phil is close. Not close enough to attack KD though. KD trying to recover after what happened in the sprint. His next target will be Subfalime in P9. Meanwhile, out in front, Blockman leading the way by 1 second. Saucy in P2. He's maintained that second place, but just frankly, he doesn't have the pace of the Alpine who's leading the way. Up towards turn 13. Rebel on the back of Wombat. A bit too far behind to do anything just yet. John is maintaining 7th. He's doing a great job in that Haas, keeping Tom at bay. Tom, of course, on the hard compound tyre, so he doesn't have an incredible amount of grip available to him. Be looking for a way by, I would think, try and get into a little bit of clear air. We head through this flat out part of the lap. Rebel closing in on the Mercedes of Wombat. Not close enough though to attack into turn 22. Tom closing in as well. Is he close enough? No is the answer. KD still looking for a way by Subfalime. Professor Phil isn't too far behind. Here comes Tom on John. Heading through the final part of the lap. Tom gets in front. John has to concede. Down to 8th place he goes. KD not close enough to go for a move just yet. The 2 AlphaTauris are battling for position. Youngling down in P16. Can he find a way through? Not quite. Still stuck behind those 2 AlphaTauris. Now he's getting in front of Sparty thanks to the slipstream given by Flavius. He's looking down the inside now into turn 1. Can't fully commit to a move though, too far behind and not enough momentum on his side. Tie battle heading into turn 4. Saucy's out! Saucy has crashed out of the race! An incident at turn 7. There he is there. He's thrown it into the barrier on the left-hand side of the circuit. What a shame for the man who was second in the Drivers' Championship. Just 8 points behind Mighty Wombat. Virtual safety car has been deployed. Drivers will need to keep their eyes on the Delta. You do not want to be caught speeding. Oh, but what a shame for Saucy. Put together a decent start, maintained second, but threw it away at the beginning of lap 3. We have such a long way to go. Throw away so early is really a shame. The Blockman's now got a seriously comfortable lead, 4.4 seconds back to Mighty Wombat. And that gap is going to fluctuate thanks to the Delta that the drivers have to drive to. It's important that you're not caught speeding. It's seriously important that you're not caught speeding. Otherwise that will ruin everything. DRS is now enabled. We're back on the green flag conditions and the gap's now 2.4 seconds between the top two. So Wombat's done a pretty solid job on the restart. Closed in by a fair chunk to the race leader. Take it easy, closing in on Mr. Nars. Looking to the inside here at turn 1. Sends it in. Couldn't fully commit to the move though. He'll stay behind Mr. Nars in P5. Sunflame holding P8. KD a bit too far behind now to try and do anything. Keep our eyes then on Take It Easy and Mr. Nars. This is the closest battle we have on track as they head through the opening sector. There's RF1 Tom closing in on those hard compound tyres as they exit turn 10 and head up towards turn 13. Tom not close enough to do anything just yet. Neither is Take It Easy. Now, Sunflame half a second behind. Will be closing in tremendously with the help of DRS in a few moments' time. Might see a battle on for P7 in a few moments. I think Take It Easy is a bit too far behind Mr. Nars right now. Tom trying to close in. Sunflame gets by John. That was expected. And John's massively under, I think. Is he? Hang on. Yeah, he is. He is minus 1.5 laps under fuel. Minus 1.5 laps under. He's got some saving to do. Rocket LMR under pressure. Youngling moves through into excuse me, into P12. Fairly simple move there for Youngling. Take It Easy, trying to find a way by Mr. Nars, heading down towards turn 1. Fairly elementary move down the inside, though Mr. Nars decides to go for it and gets the position back at turn 2. Take It Easy fights back though at turn 3, heading up towards turn 4. Take It Easy with the inside line, is able to move through. Tom now directly behind this battle as Rebel gets a 3-second time penalty. That was tight there. Entering turn 9 through turn 10. Very tight indeed as we head down towards turn 13. Tom close, not close enough to go for the move here. He'll stay behind. Out of the turn 13 sweeper around turn 14 up towards turns 15, 16 and 17. Be looking for a solid exit here, Tom. He's got it. He's on the back of Mr. Nars. Dumping the battery too. He'll open DRS. He'll have a crack here. Oh, it's tight. It's very tight. Almost resulting in an accident as they go through turn 22. Then turn 23. Gee whiz. You don't want to see that. It tends to get really nasty really quick. Here comes Tom though. Yellow flags are out. It's the harnesser spinning at turn 24. Down the inside goes Tom. Oh, on both Nars and Take It Easy. He's going to try and get 2 for 1 at the final corner. He's now drag racing the Ferrari. Gets the nose in front. And now Mr. Nars is going to try and follow through as they head down towards turn 1. Nars down the inside. And he gets it done. Mr. Nars into P5. Tom up to P4. How about that? Oh, but what a poor moment for the harnesser spinning out at turn 27. He's going to move into the pit lane. Not sure if he's got damage on the car, but he is in. Out in front is Blockman. 3.4 seconds is the gap between the top two. Rebel occupying P3. This is looking like another big event for Alpine. The Constructors' Championship fight is looking more and more interesting after every single race. Tom occupying P4 now on those hard tyres as well. He's done really well on the worst compound, demonstrating he's got a lot of pace, and it'll be interesting to see how he can challenge the top 3 towards the end of the race. If he can challenge the top 3, that is. He's got a fair way to close in. 6.6 seconds to Rebel in P4. The rest of the gaps are pretty big now. Nice aerial shot here, looking down at the racetrack as they head towards the final corner. Get on the brakes hard just after the 100-meter board. Chuck it through the left-hand hairpin. Rebel gets a penalty, speeding into the pit lane. He's damaged his front wing as well. He has made a complete mess of that pit lane entry. You can see the end plate missing, and he's not going to get... Oh, he is going to get repairs. He is going to get repairs. Interesting. So perhaps he damaged it earlier in the lap and decided to damage it a bit more to make sure his team actually repaired the front wing. Maybe. This seems really incredibly early to move off the medium tyre. You can go such a long time on those mediums. That's very interesting. Tom now occupying 3rd place. With what happened to Rebel, 3rd place just might have been gifted to him. We'll have to wait and see. John, he's now got his wing mirrors full of silver as KD is closing in around turn 14, heading up towards turns 15, 16 and 17. KD will be aiming to pretty tidy run. Gap sitting at half a second. Heading through the flat out S's up towards 22 and 23, closing in tremendously. Not by enough though to attack into the left-hander. He's understeered wide through turn 22 though. It's cost him time to both John and Professor Phil just behind him P9 as they head around the flat out left-handers of 25 and 26. Oh, look at that. KD gets by. Fairly elementary overtake as Saucy has left the session. Fair play considering what happened to him earlier. No need to keep watching, I suppose. DRS open on Professor Phil's Ferrari. Yellow's out. It's the harm assist who has spun again. No front wing damage from what I can tell. But dearie me, it's going from bad to worse for the harm assist. He'd be praying for a safety car to come out at some point to try and help him out. 4.7 seconds is now the gap between the top 2. Wombat well and truly controlling this race. Sorry, Blockman well and truly controlling this race. Wombat, well, he's pretty in control to be absolutely fair. In P2, he's got a big enough gap to the car behind. He doesn't have to worry about it. All he has to worry about is Blockman, and he's a bit too far in front to worry about. It's a bit too difficult to close in by 5 seconds, as John is well and truly under pressure from Professor Phil in P9. Youngling just behind him, P10 in the Williams, so we're going to have a 3-car fight here for P8. Take it easy, also giving Mr. Nars a little bit of pressure. These two, after qualifying well after the sprint, have maintained their top 5 placings. They're looking incredibly solid. Take it easy. Close, not close enough though to go for a move. And now Subfalime is closing in. We head around the flat out left-handers of 25 and 26. Take it easy. We'll be looking for a move here around the outside, heading into the final corner. He gets the nose in front. He's too deep though. He understeers wide. And Mr. Nars goes back through. Not quite. Who's got DRS? It's going to be Mr. Nars, but Subfalime has DRS too. It's 3 wide heading down the main straightaway, and it's Subfalime who takes 2 for 1 down the main straightaway and into turn 1. He moves into P4. Take it easy, down to 5th now. Mr. Nars unable to overtake the Ferrari at turn 1. He stays in P6. Now KD will try and close in. A bit wide entering turn 5. Might have cost him a warning. And we head through the S's here. Right on the edge of grip. So easy to get it wrong through that section. Sort of have to drive at 90% just to make sure you give yourself that extra leeway just in case if you make a mistake. Can take it easy, try and re-challenge Subfalime. He's 7 tenths behind, now 6 tenths behind. 7.5, so a poor exit there for Take It Easy at turn 17. Yellow's out again. That is Sergeant Bell, and that's a safety car. A broken front wing on the Alfa Romeo of Bill's car means that we have a safety car. How are you now, Saucy? Oh dear. Well, this was the opportunity for the Harnesses to try and catch up. He's just shot himself in the foot, and so has Sergeant Bill, his teammate. Both caught speeding during this safety car period. Silly mistake. Tyres, we need tyres. Hards. Tom will pull on mediums, and he can go to the end on those. John stays out for some reason. You can hop onto the mediums and go to the end. They last forever. Here at Jeddah, can easily go to the end on mediums. Hards. Rebel stays out. He's going to try and go to the end on those tyres. He's not going to try and pit again. He could try and... Oh, yeah, maybe not. You'll only have 2 sets of mediums, and he used a set of mediums in the sprint. So, yeah, I don't think Rebel will have another set to go on to. So yeah, he has to stay out. Mediums for Alamar, he can make it. Same with Flavius and Sparky. Sergeant Bell and the Harnesses. Gee, but Tom, what's happened here? Tom has spun. He's broken his front wing. Oh my goodness me. He's gone and broken his front wing during this safety car period. Oh my. Oh, well, he has to go back in. Put on something. Tom's... Yeah, that won't help, Tom. I think you're better off keeping it within the white lines, mate. Well, I've seen weirder stuff happen during safety car periods. But that is a tremendous blow for Tom, who has performed superbly on the hard tyre, and he seems to have thrown it away on the mediums. An accident resulting in a damaged front wing. Ouch. Waiting for the leaders here. And we'll be waiting for the 2 Alfa Romeos, who are a fair ways behind, and they both have drive-throughs. That's a really tough bit for both Sergeant Bill and the Harnesses. This is what they needed. They needed a safety car, and they've just gone and blown it by speeding. Tom's in. What is Tom going to do here? Soft tyres are out. Those tyres won't make it, so he might pit again and move back onto the mediums he was on the previous lap. But yeah, those tyres will not make it from here. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Alright. So everyone has made stops except for 2 drivers, and I know not why. John on hards and Young Ling on 10 lap old hards. So both on 10 lap old hards. They have not pitted. Now, one theory I might have, if I can remember what John started on, I'm pretty certain Youngling started on the medium tyre in the sprint. But what could be the situation is that they selected the softer tyre allocation at the beginning of this whole race session. So they might only have 1 set of mediums, and they use them in the sprint race. So they don't have another set of mediums, fresh set of mediums to use. That could be one theory why they haven't pitted yet, because they know they have to use a set of softs and they won't make it. I don't know. So, but yeah, they needed the pit. Going to the end on the mediums is definitely more than possible from this race length. Could easily do it. The Rocket LMR might be in a pretty solid position down in P11. He's on the softer tyre. It can make it. Safety car's in this lap. It's a late call from the safety car. This will hurt Tom if he wants to pit again. John is, for whatever reason, past Blockman. He's rescinded his overtake. Down to Blockman to control the field. Right on board. We'll look back, see what everyone else behind is up to. Blockman taking his time. He's allowed to dictate pace. Turning into a car park at the final corner. Blockman waiting. John is ready. He is so ready to try and pounce. Alright, here we go. Not a bad restart from Blockman. Not a bad reaction from John either. It's now lap 12 of 25. We have got 14 laps to go. And someone slow already. It's Sergeant Bill who's trying to go into the pits. KD gets by. Mr. Nars, no he doesn't. He spins. Half spins. Gets pointed back in the right direction, but he's now down in 13th position behind RF1 Tom. Side by side between Phil and LMR. Down the inside goes LMR. Moves into 9th place. Tom gets by Sparty. Sparty a poor run. Down the inside at turn 6. You're kidding. Tom a move. Oh, and a spin. It's Mr. Nars. He spins out at turn 9 and tumbles down to 14th position. Tom now attacking LMR around the outside at turn 13. He sends it into the left-hander. He should have the grip to just drive around the outside. He should. Down the inside at turn 14, he moves through. That's P8 for him. LMR is still in a very strong position with those tyres though. He shouldn't be too distracted by that. But what a moment for KD. Now down in 12th place after that incident at turn 1. Rebel moves by, take it easy before turn 22. That's audacious, that's dangerous, but they managed to get it through. Wombat on the back of John, who is still yet to pit. Same with Youngling in P4. Looking around the outside, heading into the final corner. Sends it in. Can't quite get it done just yet. The Haas hangs on, and Blockman drives away off into the distance. Here comes Wombat, though, with a whole heap of straight line speed. He powers past the Haas and moves into P2. John can't fight that one, I'm afraid. Haas driver moves down to 3rd. A bit of a moment there. Balks the Haas driver, just a little bit. Pushes him back into Youngling. Now Rebel's in with a shot to finish on the podium, but he's got a time penalty next to his name that is going to hurt him. A 5-second time penalty for speeding. Go back here for just a moment. Sub for line just in front of his teammate Tom, who is on the soft tyre and is pushing. Tom's just going for it now, just sending it. That's all he can do considering his situation right now. He just needs to send it, just go for it. Through the chicane of 16 and 17. Take it easy just on the back of this train. He's in with a shot to finish on the podium too. Around turn 20, up towards turn 21. Youngling's close. Not close enough though. Through turn 22, Tom overtaking his teammate. Sufferline probably just let him through. I reckon that's what he would do. Around turn 25, up towards turn 26. Youngling looking left and right. John leaving the inside line open. Youngling not diving down the inside. He stays behind. Rebel. He's right on the gearbox of Youngling's Williams as well. So he's in this. In fact, he's going to have a go here. He gets by down the main straightaway. There's the straight line speed of the Alpine. Doesn't go for a move at turn 1 though. He'll stay behind John. Just keep P4. Around turn 3. Up towards turn 4. Into the notorious S section. Through the left hand, around the right of turn 5. Chucking it into the left of turn 6. Turn 7. Round turn 8. Then turn 9. Bit wide there from John. Into the left of 10. Then through the fast right left of 11 and 12. Here we go. Up towards turn 13. Rebel looking. Half looking to the inside. But does not fully commit to the move. He will stay behind. The sparks fly from underneath the cars as they bottom out through the long left sweeper. Around turn 15 into the chicane of 16 and 17. There's Wombat. John cutting the course. Rebel. Oh, and spinning! Into the wall goes John! Oh, dearie me. It's a small mistake. It's cost him. He's trying to get it. Oh, needs to find reverse. You will find it eventually. And that's a reset to track if ever I saw one. Youngling now on the back of Rebel. The battle's on for P3 here as we head around the final corner. Scratch That's now a battle for P2. Blockman out in front, commanding this race. LMR gets by Professor Phil for P8. Rebel's going to have a go on Mighty Wombat here. Round the outside, heading into turn 1. It's an elementary move there. Oh, but Wombat tries to fight back down the inside. He's trying to keep right on the back of the Alpine through turn 3 as they head towards turn 4. Not close enough to make a move here into the left hand, and not that you really want to, as LMR and Phil are still scrapping it out. And there goes KD through into P9. So Phil not having the best of runs through the opening sector. Cost him dearly. Youngling on the back of Wombat. As John's retired in the pit lane, it seems. He's had enough for the day. Looking down the inside, can't fully commit to the move. And now Tom's on the back of this, on the soft tyre. He's flying. Needs to try and find a way by as soon as possible. On those soft tyres, he's more than capable of doing that. Through 16, through 17. There's Take It Easy, just minding his own business in P6. Doing a really, really good job. Through the flat out S's. Yellow's out, it's Sergeant Bill. Spinning at the exit of turn 13. It's going from bad to worse for Alfa Romeo. But so long as they both keep going, they're both going to score points. Around the final part of the lap, Youngling moves by, Tom moves by. Tom's going to have a crack at the final corner, surely. Looking around the outside at turn 27, sends it in, drives it around the outside, uses the grip of the soft tyre, and moves through into third. But doesn't give himself DRS. That might be a problem. Here comes Wombat. Here comes Youngling. Oh, and a bit of a block there from Tom. But then again, he was maintaining that outside line. There wasn't really going to be any room around the outside there. Youngling, Wombat through turn 2, heading up towards turn 3. Oh, they're wheel to wheel heading towards turn 4. Youngling has the inside, but he decides to bail on it. Very wise driving there. As the Harmer says, it's crashed at the final corner. We have another safety car. Oh my goodness me. With 10 laps to go, we have our second safety car of the race. And this safety car, this is going to help Tom out tremendously. What do the drivers do? There's an opportunity to put on soft tyres and get to the end of the race. If you've got a fresh set left, I'd recommend pitting onto them. You're going to be so much quicker than everyone else who stays out. What do the leaders do? Blockman has got a huge, huge margin in hand. He can do anything he wants right here. He can stay out, go to the end on those tyres. He can pit in, put on softs, put on mediums, put on anything. Oh, but what do these guys do here in the midfield? I'm not sure. I am not sure at all. Do you want to keep the track positions you've earned, or do you want to pit in and put on some fresh tyres? What does race leader Blockman do? He stays out. What about Rebel? Does he pit in? Does he want to get that 5-second remove? Does he want to keep going? Tom will definitely pit. He has to pit. Mighty Wombat's in. Youngling's in. Take It Easy stays out. Interesting. Subfolime's in. KD stays out. LMR stays out. So we've got some mixed opinions going on here. Sparty stays out. Nas is in. Flavius is in. Tom onto a set of mediums. Youngling onto a set of mediums. Subfolime on softs. Wombat's on softs as well. I would recommend the soft tyre. With the amount of laps we have left, the softs can make it. Softs can definitely make it, especially considering the fact we're going to spend a couple of laps behind the safety car going at a snail's pace. So we've got a fair few drivers pitting onto soft tyres. Sergeant Bill, set of hards, I guess that's the only tyre he has left. And he is the sole remaining Alfa Romeo. He's it. So who's made the right call? Who hasn't made the right call? That is the question. Current order, we have an Alpine 1-2, but Rebel has a 3-second time penalty that he might actually keep as well. And I say that based off what's happened in the Pacific Elite race, there is a glitch where you can get a unwarranted speeding penalty if you cut enough of the pit lane entry. However, that speeding penalty might not get removed because of the fact that within race spec rules, if you cut the white lines at the pit entry or the pit exit, you get a time penalty. And oh no! Sparty has dropped! He's dropped out of the session! Uh-oh. Can Sparty get himself back in? I don't know. Uh-oh. We might have a bit of a problem. I won't be able to invite him back in, so hopefully you can find a way in. Surely you'll be able to join through one of his Xbox buddies, I would think. Take it very easy through 1 and 2. They all look like they're in AI. They are in AI. What's going on here? Drivers ghosting through. What, has everyone DC'd? Have I DC'd? Yeah, that's an AI. What's happened? Because that's AI movement. Without any doubt, that's AI movement. Well, I don't think I've disconnected. I'm still here in the lobby, so... Sparty's rejoined. But everyone else is in AI. What's going on? Don't think LMR is. LMR looks like he's still going just fine. Because those are human inputs. What's going on? And everyone else is DC'd. On my screen. Or, yeah. Something like that. Everyone's in AI. Yeah, no, these are AI, but LMR isn't. I have got no idea what's happening. These are AI, for sure. Those are AI inputs. They're not properly driving the car. You can see LMR, the way he's driving, so I've got massive desync. The only one I can properly see. What I might have to do, folks, is quickly leave the lobby and hopefully rejoin. I'll see this safety car restart first, just to make sure it's all fine. Will they reset? No. Oh, what the hell is this? Now LMR's going. The leaders are somewhere just in front of LMR. Alright folks, I'm going to have to be quick about this, so I'll quit to main menu and I'll rejoin through KD. Hopefully that will work. It should work, it should be able to work, hopefully. But I'm not sure. That was huge desync. I'm not getting anything from that. So, yeah, I'm not totally sure what happened there. Just humongous desync. Alright. See, now I can't use the previous invite, can I? Don't think I can. This is the first time this has happened. Alright, game base. Need to find KD. Need to find KD. Can I join this? Should be able to. Yes, I can. Now this might cost us a lap of footage. Maybe a little bit more, but hopefully this works. Cross our fingers anyway. Because I've never seen that before. The entire field, except for Rocket LMR, was desynced. Failed to join the session, no response from host. What? What on earth? Maybe I have to restart the game? I don't know. But yeah, no, I can't. I haven't received an invite yet either, so... I don't know what the hell that was, but there was no way I was watching any of that. Alright, let's see if this works then. Sparty's just sent an invite. Alright, okay, don't know why that was a thing, but whatever. We're going to catch the final 5 laps, so we missed out on 2 laps of action. Which is really just frustrating because I wanted to see the restart. Alright. No, oh, hello. Alright, I think we're good now. I think we're good. Yeah, tyres, that all looks good. Everything looks fine. Okay. Don't know what was with all that desync, but it really interrupted everything. Let's get back to the action though. We've got, when the leader crosses the line, 5 laps to go to sort this all out. And then looking at Wombat, he has made a charge through the field. He's back up to P6. He's got Tom just in front, Youngling just behind, as they have DRS, do they? Not yet. They might be enabled DRS very, very shortly. Heading down towards turn 1. Tom closing in on KD, who's on those 11-lap old hard compound tyres. As we head through the middle part of the lap, heading through the flat-out S, oh, not the flat-out S's, into the notorious S's of turns 4, 5, heading into the lefts of 6 and 7, then the rights of 8 and 9. Chucking it through, Tom just behind KD. Can he find a way by? The answer is no. Heading up towards turn 13. He's not close enough to send it here. Has to stay behind. Nicely done from all the drivers at the moment. Keeping the pressure up, keeping the pace high. Get through turn 17. Flavius gets overtaken by Sparty on those soft tyres, that is expected. Heading through the flat out S's here now. Tom's on the attack. He gets by KD, not quite. KD lets him through. He switched off DRS, let him through. Now Monty Wombat will be trying to find a way by. KD, I don't think, will hold up his teammate too much. Youngling's on the back of this too, as they all have DRS open. Closing up towards the final corner here. Youngling looking left and right. Wombat looking left and right. Down the inside goes the Williams. Oh, and a half spin. Great catch from Wombat. Almost putting it into the barrier. But he's now down in 7th place. Youngling trying to hunt down KD, who has run out of battery, trying to re-overtake Tom. Down the inside, Youngling goes, contact, and spinning. Contact some more. Heading into turn 1. KD now tumbles down the order. 11th place. He falls to. The race has gone from bad to worse for KD. Any front wing damage from Wombat? Don't think so. There might be damage. There is damage on Youngling's Williams. He made contact with KD down at turn 1. It did not work. He's pulled off and moved out of the way with that front wing damage. Oh dearie me. Professor Phil looking for a way by Rocket Alamar here. Around the outside he will try and go. Sending it round the left-hander. As Youngling now moves down to 12th with that front wing damage. Exiting the left-hander. Professor Phil gets in front into P8. Tom's next target will be Take It Easy. There could be a potential podium on here for Take It Easy. He's going to try and do everything to try and stay there, surely. No, he just lets him on by, does he? He does. Take It Easy, doesn't want any of it. He's happy with a top 5 finish, it seems. Don't blame him. I wouldn't mind a top 5 round here either, after such a long race. So Tom moves through into 3rd. Take It Easy closes back in with DRS, but you can tell he's not really trying to go for a move here at the final corner. And Wombat, he'll be closing in as well. Mr. Nars under a bit of pressure from Subfoline. Blockman starting lap 23 to set the new fastest lap of the race. Down the main straightaway, Subfoline closing in, not by enough. Down into turn 1. Can't go for a move. Rocket LMR under a bit of pressure from KD, who looks around the outside at turn 1, turns to the inside at 2, did not have enough momentum to make the move stick on Rocket LMR. He stays in P10 and now has Sergeant Bill now in P11 on the back of him. Wombat closing in on Take It Easy. I'm guessing if he just let Tom through, he probably let Mighty Wombat through as well. Doesn't want a bar of it. Just wants to finish, score the points, and move on to next week. Through turns 16 and 17. Nice run there. And through the back half of the racetrack. DRS open now on Mighty Wombat's car. Closing in. Not by enough though to attack here. Yellow's out. Sergeant Bill is out. He ends... Ooh, no, it's just him by himself. I thought I saw another dot. No, he did it all on his own. Well, that was a guaranteed points finish for Sergeant Bill. And it's all gone south. Alfa Romeo will score nothing at the end of this. Unless Bill is classified. He might get classified. We'll wait and see at the end of the race. Down towards turn 1. Take It Easy closing in. Looking to the inside here. He wants to fight Mighty Wombat through turn 1 into turn 2. The Wombat, with all the grip in the world, is able to keep P4 there. KD gets by Rocket LMR. A move around the outside of turn 1, so this time he makes it stick. Rocket LMR's got a nice drive out of turn 2. Can't find a way by though at turn 4. Mr. Nars occupying P6, Professor Phil in 7, Subforline in P8. Well, the battle at the front seems pretty much done, except for Rebel's time penalty. Those 5 seconds are holding him back. What could be an Alpine 1-2, it's turning into an Alpine 1-3, which is still incredibly good, considering the circumstances. Considering there's a Constructors' Championship fight on between Alpine and Mercedes-AMG. They head through the final part of the lap. The gap sitting at 4.2 seconds. Rest of the gaps now pretty big. Professor Phil though, he has Subforline closing in and he's dumping the battery. Subforline doing everything he can to try and close up. That's the penalty situation. Oh, he has 8 seconds, so he got a 3-second when I wasn't watching. Dang it, I would have liked to have known that. Unfortunately, the damn game desynced. Alright, so Rebel's in huge trouble. He is going to finish off the podium and then some with the time penalties he's acquired. Alright, that's really going to hurt him. So it's not just going to be an Alpine 1-3, it's going to be an Alpine 1-5 potentially, maybe even 1-6. It's a tremendous blow for Rebel. Mighty Wombat, he'll be looking at a podium finish. Youngling setting the fastest lap at 29.7 on the penultimate lap. He'll take that extra point after what has been a very up and down race weekend here in Jeddah. He's had form, he's had pace, he's had no luck. Rebel, be pretty happy with how he's performed. It's just those penalties. His niggling penalties are going to hold him back. Blockman out of battery, he might be pushing here, trying to get back fastest lap, which will really just cap off what has been an incredibly dominant weekend for Blockman. He put the car on pole position. He won the sprint. He's going to win the main race. He wins the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and by a fairly decent margin as well. Rebel, with 8 seconds worth of penalties, will drop down to P3, 4, down to P5, maybe P6? No, he stays P5. It will be Tom who finishes in P2. A fine effort indeed, up 7 places from where he started after a fairly poor sprint race. Wombat will finish on the podium in 3rd, Take It Easy in 4th, then Rebel, then Mr. Nars, Professor Phil, Subforline, KD. What a torrid race he's had. Very much up and down. He will score points in 9th. Run through the full order after we complete the podium celebration. Well, that could have been, well, it was actually a very interesting race as Tom gets driver of the day. It's just incredibly infuriating that this game is so incredibly buggy. I don't know why I had that massive desync. The only driver who wasn't desynced was Rocket LMR. I have no idea why that was a thing. But what a fine performance from Blockman. An absolutely dominant weekend here in Jeddah. P2 goes to RF1 Tom, our driver of the day. P3 to our championship leader, Mighty Wombat. So then the unofficial results of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Blockman is your race winner by just under 9 seconds to RF1 Tom. Mighty Wombat will complete the podium places in 3rd. Take It Easy P4, followed by Rebel in 5th. Mr. Nars P6, then Professor Phil. Sub for Line P8. KD, probably less than impressed 9th place after all that's happened. Rocket LMR 10th. Flavius 11th, followed by Sparty Youngling with fastest lap. Sergeant Bill is classified, so he will score points. And in 14th place, retirements, Harmacist, John C. and Saucy. A tremendous blow for him and his championship chances. What an upside down roller coaster race we've had here in Saudi Arabia. 3 on the trot, 3 interesting races, back to back to back. Here at Jeddah, Pacific Elite, Pacific Tier 1, and here in the Americas Series. But in the Americas Series, that is expected. These guys always put on a fantastic show. Oh, and what a weird freaking bug. As soon as Sparty left, the entire field, except for Rocket LMR, was desynced. The entire field. And I don't think there was anything I could do about it except for leave and try and rejoin. And fortunately, we didn't miss out on too much action, I think, when I rejoined. So, and we were able to capture the end of the race as well. So that's the main thing. But no, oh, that's time trial, dum. I need a showroom. I thought that looked funny. Showroom. But no, an awesome effort from the top 3 tonight. Well done to Mighty Wombat. To RF1 Tom, nice recovery for Tom. And yeah, dominant performance from Blockman. Blockman well and truly untouchable here in Jeddah. Man, what a race that was. And I'll do a quick check on the bingo, because we do a small bingo thing to make sure, see if we can get something here. Safety car in the last 10 laps. We definitely had a safety car in the last 10 laps. Or we had a safety car period in the last 10 laps. So I think that would count. Mediums to hards wins. I believe that was the case. PlayStation pole lap. Yeah, Blockman. Someone makes 5 positions up at the start. Maybe. Saucy to win a race. No. Rebel doesn't get reported. We'll find out. Pole under a 28 flat, no. Someone retires from quality, yes. We had 1 retirement from quality. Spin in sector 1, we had a few. Lane, my oh my, I probably said that at some point. Little Nas leads the midfield, suppose. Oh no, we had to take it easy up there as well. Someone crashes in quality, that comes up twice, so yes. There's safety car in the first 10 laps. If you go in the first 10 laps? Can't remember. Sprint and feature to feature the same winner. Yes, Little Mick outqualifies his teammate. He didn't attend, so no. KD doesn't get any time penalty. No. Pole for Xbox. No. Someone makes up 8 places in a race, probably. Someone starts on the softs for the sprint. Yes. Lead changes in the last 5 laps. No. Haas loses front wing. No. Sergeant Bill doesn't finish. Sergeant Bill is classified. Big crash in the wall. Not quite. I don't think we got bingo for this week, unfortunately. Just missed out. But I think, folks, that will wrap up another interesting stream here on Race Spec Esports. Jeddah just doesn't disappoint. It always creates interesting action. With everything said and done, it's time to wrap everything up. I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you everyone so much for watching. And we'll see you next week for round 9 of the championship at Albert Park for the Australian Grand Prix. My home track. Hopefully the drivers get to enjoy that race next week. But until then, it's goodbye.